Today we're looking at CF Spark. CF Spark is an AI image generator from Creative Fabrica that you can use to create custom artwork for personal use or commercial use for things like print on demand and of course low content books. I'll show you how each tool works. I'm going to tell you what I think each tool is best suited for, and then we're going to compare the results to another AI image generator, Midjourney. So this is the CF Spark community feed. So these are all of the different images that other users have created using CF Spark. Now the cool thing here is on a lot of these, you're going to be able to just hover over the image and see what the actual prompt is that they were able to use. Now you can see that a lot of people here have hidden their prompt to try and protect what they've created. And I'll explain how you can do that in a minute. Here's one that hasn't been hidden. So you can just see Mario video game character, centered, cinematic, digital art, funky splatter, drip, pop. So you can see as detailed of a prompt as you can give, the better the result is going to be for your image. Quite a lot of people here have hidden their prompt. Here's another one, crazy chicken, watercolor, super detailed. So it's kind of fun to just hover over each one and check out what the different prompts were to get the amazing results that you're seeing here. So let's head on over to the tools. And they've added quite a few tools on over the past few months. When I first checked this out a few months ago, I think the only one they actually had was CF Spark Art right here. So let's go ahead and jump inside CF Spark Art. Now up here, this is where you're going to enter your prompt. You can choose your aspect ratio here. So most likely, if you're doing books, you're probably going to want a 4:5 portrait aspect ratio. You've also got options here to choose the different styles, which is really helpful. So you've got illustration, painting, coloring page, watercolor, photograph, kawaii, cartoon, and hyper-realistic. Definitely suggest playing around with all of these. Now the only one, unfortunately, that I don't think is that great, and I'll show you some of the results that I had previously in a moment, is this coloring page. And I'm going to be doing a little bit of a compare and contrast with some of the coloring pages that I created in Midjourney, which is another AI artwork generator. I'll put a link to that up on the screen here if you want to check out my review of Midjourney. Now scrolling down, these are some of the creations that I've made just kind of fooling around with this image generator. So you can see there's some pretty cool images here. These are some of the ones that I made with that coloring book feature. They didn't really turn out all that well. Here are a bunch of different variations I created just using some of these different styles right here. So some of them worked out really well. Others, like this one, not so much. So you do kind of have to play around a little bit. You can see here I had a whole bunch of unable to generate, and I'm pretty sure that was because I had the word kids in here. So the word kids, children, that's going to be deemed unsafe, and that's why they weren't able to generate these images. But this first one here, you can see the prompt I used: adorable Alaskan Malamute puppy, storybook illustration, golden hour, monochrome, 4K, happy. This I came up with using that prompt builder, which we can check out in a second. I'm just going to recopy that same prompt so you can see it in action. And I am going to choose the 4:5 portrait. Then you just hit the ignite button. And this usually takes under a minute. So same prompt, but I've come up with 8 completely different pictures here. Once they're done, if you see one you like, you can just hit publish, or you can create different variations in Image Mix. And if you're happy, you can just hit the publish button. I'm going to go over the pricing in a moment because it is actually free to use CF Spark. But to get some of the premium features, you're actually going to need a subscription. So that's what you can see here. If I wanted to publish and hide the prompt, like you saw in the beginning when I was showing you some of the images on the community feed, you would need to have that level of subscription. Or you can just generate a completely private download. So not only is the prompt hidden, but no one can actually see your artwork either. I'm just going to go ahead and hit publish. And now once I have published that, I'm going to be able to download the image. But because it's published, other people are going to be able to download that image as well if they want to. So while this one's generating, I'm just going to show you one that I have already published. So this is what that page would look like. You can see any usage is allowed here. So basically anyone on Creative Fabrica could wind up on this page and they'd be able to download and use my image. They can see the exact prompt that I've used as well. You will show up as the creator. You'll have your own little page here. You can create your own profile. And again, if you actually want your artwork to be completely hidden, you'll actually have to have a subscription. So let's just quickly show you some of the other tools. So next up is Crystalline. And again, this is where you can create transparent JPEGs with, as you can see here, varying results. Now I didn't play around with this too much, but you get the gist of what you're kind of able to do here. It's basically clip art style and you've got a transparent background. So let's just quickly enter something totally random here. Let's just put cute elephant. If I can actually spell. All right, so these turned out quite a bit better than my last batch of this supposedly adorable puppy playing in the grass. These are much cuter. So again, this could just be used as like a design element on a cover or something like that. If you want to use this on your interior, you're probably going to be doing a black and white interior. Color, no problem, you can use this. If you want to do something in black and white, you're probably going to get a better result using the sketch tool, and that's what we'll show you next. But same thing here, you can just publish it. Again, if you've got the subscription, you can publish and hide prompt, or you could just generate a completely private download. But if you just want to download it yourself without being on any of those plans, you're going to have to publish it. And then that will show up in the community feed, and it will show up on your creator page as well. All right, so we'll check out Sketch. So here's some of the examples that I've already played around with. I was on a cute puppy roll the other day. Let's try our cute elephant again. Oh my gosh, apparently I cannot spell elephant today. Now you could try other prompts, like maybe let's try cartoon style elephant. These are looking pretty realistic, so let's see what we get from cartoon style. All right, so you can definitely play around with just typing in different styles just to see what you can come up with. And again, this is to be good as design elements for your book interior. You're probably not going to want to put any of this on your cover, seeing as how it's black and white, unless of course your particular design might call for that. But you get the gist of what this specific tool can create. And we'll move on to patterns. So this one was kind of fun. At first, I was not totally blown away just because what I initially started out with was like, well, these aren't particularly attractive. And then I tried to create some ones with colorful kittens playing yarn, and yeah, it's kind of like, okay. Then things started to get a little bit better, a little bit more interesting here. You know, like this one's kind of neat. So I'll just enlarge this for you to see it. You've got this little bit of a slider here, so you can slide down and actually see what that would look like as a repeatable pattern. So that's kind of neat. So again, here's a floral pattern. It's kind of cool. I mean, you could definitely see that as the background on a book cover. And then these got kind of fun as well. I quite liked this one. So yeah, I thought the pattern generator was really cool. You can really just enter anything that you can possibly think of and then go ahead and use these different styles. So again, this was all the same prompt here, ice cream sundae, but I just went through all of the different styles. So I did the kawaii, the cartoon, illustration, another illustration, watercolor, and I'm going to show you the coloring page as well. Let's try that. All right, I didn't actually press coloring page. Okay, coloring page, black and white. I'll give that a try. So, okay, like what even is this? I'm really not seeing an ice cream sundae in there. So I would say that the coloring page option is kind of gives the least pleasing results. This actually might be a good time to show you kind of the difference between the results you get from Midjourney AI versus Creative Fabrica Spark. So let's just go back to create art. These two are examples of what was generated as a coloring page. So I'm just going to open up Midjourney. Now these are some of the results I was getting from Midjourney when I asked it to create a coloring page for me. So, I mean, that's pretty appealing. So let's go ahead. We'll take the exact prompt that I used here. So black and white coloring page for kids, cartoon style, adorable Shiba Inu puppy playing in flowers. All right, I'm gonna copy and paste that. And we'll put it up here, but I'm gonna remove kids. So I'll try it just saying coloring page up here, and then I'll remove that, and I'll just click this and see if there's any difference here. So I mean, you can already see the one created by Midjourney is providing much better results. Right? I mean, check that out in comparison to this one. Right? I mean, big difference there. So anyways, I did just kind of want to show you the difference between the two AIs and kind of show you, you know, if you're looking to do coloring book pages, I still think Midjourney is going to be a better option. Let's just get rid of this and we'll try it one more time. Just using this. I mean, it's going to give us similar results. Yeah, so I mean, these really aren't great. I mean, this one doesn't even look like a coloring page. Anyways, you kind of get the point here. All right, so I'll just give you a quick glimpse at the prompt builder here. So the prompt builder I actually found a little bit kind of confusing. There are just so many different options. But you can add your initial prompt here. So let's go back to cute elephant. Oh my gosh, I cannot spell elephant today. Okay, then we're gonna plus. Okay, so we can choose an art medium. Let's just choose maybe like pastels and chalk. We'll do pastel art. Lots of different options here. So I don't know, film types. And a lot of these, like, I just didn't even know what they were. I'll do a sepia. Dimensionality, display, geometry. Anyways, there's tons of stuff here. Some of it feels like it really wouldn't be very relevant. But once you are finished building your prompt, you're just going to hit that button and then you'll get your results. So definitely just fun to play around with. Now, before moving on, there is one very important thing that I would like to point out here, and that is that these images, when you download them, they're only going to be downloaded at 72 ppi. Now for printing, there is a minimum DPI of 300. Now this isn't really going to be a problem. When you download these images, you're going to notice that they're going to be at least about 4,000 pixels wide and at least 4,000, if not 6,000 pixels in height, depending on the aspect ratio that you've chosen. But you are still going to want to double check once you've scaled down your image and resized it if it's going to be at least 300 DPI for printing. Now, if you're using Photoshop or Affinity Photo, you're going to be able to do that in those programs. I'm going to show you quickly how to do it in a free program called GIMP. And that way, if you don't have either Photoshop or Affinity Photo, you're still going to be able to check this out and adjust the resolution. So we're going to take this very quick side detour over to GIMP. So you'll go to File, Open. You're going to use this left-hand menu here to figure out where your file is. I'm just going to pull in this Malamute picture. Now, if I were you, I would just head down to pixels and choose inches, just so we know right off the bat. So you can see this is pretty huge. This is like 55 inches wide and like over 80 inches in height. Next, you'll go to image, print size. So you can see here that the resolution is only 72 pixels per inch. That needs to be at least 300. So we're going to go to inches. And then let's pretend for a second that we just want this to be our full 6x9 inch cover. Now I'm just going to put 6x9. You are going to want to work out whatever your cover size is, whatever the size is that you want this image to be, and then incorporate bleed as well. I'm going to keep this basic for now, and we're just going to do 6x9 just to kind of give you a sense of how this is going to work. So you can see when I adjusted the size to 6x9, it's adjusting the resolution as well. So this is showing me that at a 6x9 size, this is going to be 682 pixels per inch. Now pixels per inch and dots per inch, so PPI versus DPI, pretty much interchangeable. All you need to know is that this number has to be at least 300 in order to print without being pixelated or blurry. So we are good here. I'm going to hit OK. And now you can see this is our 6x9. Now, of course, if this was going to be my full cover, I would want to include a bleed, but I just wanted to give you a sense, just like a quick sense of how to do this, just to make sure that you are going to be printing at least 300 DPI. All right, so now let's talk about what this actually costs to use. So as I said, it's totally free to play around with Spark, and you can download the images as well. But there are going to be some limitations. So if you've already got an all-access subscription to Creative Fabrica, you're already going to be able to download your Spark creations, and you'll have any usage allowed. So that includes commercial usage. You're not going to be able to privately download your own creations. So that means other people are going to be able to see them, and you're not going to be able to hide your prompts either. So other people are going to be able to take your prompts. Now that's not really that big of a deal. As you can see, you can enter the same prompt over and over again and get completely different images. So no one's going to generate your exact image using your exact prompt. You're also going to be able to download other Spark creations by other designers, as well as creations that have been created by community members. Now, if you get the Spark subscription at $9 a month, you'll get speed credits. That basically just allows your artwork to be generated faster. And the main benefits of the Spark subscription are going to be that you've got private downloading on your Spark creations, and you can hide prompts. So no one can see your prompts, and if you want, no one even has to see your images. You can just download them privately. But you're also not going to be able to download Spark creations by other people. So if you want the best of both worlds here, if you want to hide your own creations, hide your own prompts, but you want to be able to access other people's artwork and download their artwork, you would need both of these subscriptions. Now, I just kind of want to point out here that if you're interested in using Midjourney, their basic plan also starts at about $9 a month, I believe. And I do think you can get some better results with Midjourney. But if you've already got the all-access subscription to Creative Fabrica, then I would definitely recommend playing around with Spark and seeing what you can generate here. Because as you can see, it really does have some phenomenal capabilities. I think you just kind of need to keep playing around with it until you get what you're looking for. You know, I did show you some of my results that were certainly less than desirable, but as you can see just by looking at these creations here, it does have some amazing capabilities. So the main benefit, obviously, if you were to go with Creative Fabrica rather than Midjourney, is that you've got access to Creative Fabrica Spark, but you've also got access to all of their other graphics, right? So it's not just an AI artwork generator. Creative Fabrica also has, you know, pre-made coloring book interiors and patterns and illustrations and backgrounds and fonts and all of those other things. So I would say if you are most interested in just creating AI-generated artwork, I would probably go with Midjourney. But if you want the full package where you've got access to an AI artwork generator, as well as fonts and as well as all of these millions of other design resources, then I would go with Creative Fabrica. And you can currently get their all-access plan, which does start at a $4.99 a month option. Now, as with any stock artwork design resource site, you always really want to get really familiar with the license There's usually going to be different tiers of licenses, so you want to be crystal clear on what is and isn't allowed when it comes to commercial usage of the work. So be sure you do that with whatever you decide to do, whether you're using Creative Fabrica, Midjourney, or anywhere else that you download artwork from. Thank you so much for watching. As you can see, CF Spark is going to be a lot of help in creating your low content books. If you're new to the idea of low content publishing and you'd like a hand getting started out, please download my free guide, 3 steps to publishing your first low content book in less than a day. That's going to show you how to generate passive income, creating and selling journals, planners, notebooks, and more on the Kindle Direct publishing platform. I've linked to that down in the description below. And if you want to check out a full-length video on Midjourney's AI image generator, then you can check out this video here. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.